What up, fam? It's your boy, Boy 2024, streaming to you live. Yeah, a little surprise review, but I finished a Netflix show recently that I really love that I want to talk about, and it just so happens that it's what day of the week is it, guys? Wednesday? Oh, talking about Wednesday on a Wednesday? Oh, how quaint, how on point. I mean, you guys saw that season 2 trailer, right? That they happened to drop on a Wednesday. That was like brilliant marketing right there. Oh my god. Yeah, I've barely begun the stream. I'm like 30 seconds into the stream and the chat's already on my case. They're already saying, "Oh boy, here we go." You know, start the Emma Myers countdown. How long until your boy starts talking about Emma Myers? Emma Myers? Who is that? Who is that? Is does she play Wednesday? Who is Emma Myers? Is that Emma Myers? Who's Emma? Oh, that's Emma Myers. Okay. Yeah, that's Emma Myers. Emma Myers. Yeah, I have a great deal to say about all the actors in this show, but yeah, especially her. Before I sort of begin the Wednesday, stream, I'm gonna try. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna try and keep this on the shorter end, guys. But we're talking about what 8 hours of television in one review, so. Yeah, it's gonna, and just a spoiler warning. I mean, I'll try not to spoil everything, but I do want to talk in detail about the show, so I'll probably spoil a few things just as a result of that. But again, I'll try and not give the big reveals away or anything. But be forewarned. I mean, if you want my too long didn't read. Wednesday is a 10 out of 10 show. It's one of the best Netflix shows. It's one of the best shows I've seen in quite a while. I think one of the few shows that I think is absolutely worth the hype. I put that on par with Squid Game and Stranger Things. Like, I think this is one of the best Netflix shows, period. And the funny thing is, I was looking at the stats. As far as like the most popular or like the most viewed Netflix shows or whatever. I mean, Squid Game is number one. That was like a global phenomenon, right? But Wednesday is the second most second most watched English language Netflix show. It's right behind Stranger Things, which you remember what a huge hit Stranger Things was. So the fact that Wednesday is even in the same ballpark is really saying something. It was, I mean, I'm late to the game. This show came out in, what was it, 2023? No, 2022. So it took them forever to come out with season 2 for some reason. But yeah, this show came out in 2022. So I'm a couple years late to the game, but I'm so glad I finally binged it. I'm so glad I finally watched it. But yeah, I mean, this only made sense considering my Emma Myers journey that I'm on, and this was the show that kind of started it all, right? But before I get to that, let me just I'm just kind of all over the place with this stream. You're gonna have to deal with it, guys. But obviously I'm gonna talk about this show, but I at this point, I'm just like literally watching all of the content that she's been in, so I might as well just talk about. I also watched the Netflix original movie Family Switch. This came out in 2023. I mean, it's November 30th, but it's a Christmas movie, and it basically came out in December, so I would treat this as a Christmas movie. But yeah, this movie came out right after Emma Myers blew up because of Wednesday, just 1 year later. This movie, it's fine. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. It's fine. Basically, the issue is like you've definitely seen this movie before. So long story short, we have this, typical platonic, suburban family, and they have their little problems, like the father and the son don't understand each other. The mother and the daughter, they're having issues, and they don't see eye to eye, and they do the whole thing like, well, if you could just walk in my shoes for a day, you'd know how it feels to be me, or you'd know how tough I have it. And of course, there's like a not even like a wishing star, but there's like some sort of supernatural, like the planets align, and they get their wish basically, and so they all swap bodies, and it's. What I do like is they have a scene where they kind of lampshade it, like it's very tongue-in-cheek, but they admit that, like, hey, this is not the most original concept for a movie, and like every line in that kitchen scene is like, Jennifer Garner's like, I'm 13 going on 30, and then another guy's like, I'm 7, the dad's like, I'm 17 again, what a Freaky Friday we're having, so it's fun. What I really liked is, not only did they do the parents and the children swapping, they also had the baby and the dog swap, and that leads to some funny scenes. That's the best subplot to me is they have this like over the top German neighbor who like babysits the dog slash baby, and so that leads to some really funny stuff. But yeah, Emma Myers, she's just the daughter. Like honestly, like I don't blame her. This was kind of just a paycheck. She kind of phoned it in, but with this movie. But if you're going through all of her stuff, yeah, this is a fun little movie to watch with the family. Might as well get this check this off your Emma Myers bingo card. You know what I mean. But yeah, that's enough about that. Let's get into the show. So Wednesday, it's a bit of a time commitment, but I highly recommend it. So the one season that's out, there are 8 episodes, and each episode is roughly an hour long. And for me, that was rough. Like it took me a little while to get through it, to be honest. But it was really good. It's just I don't do well with like the long form shows. But no, Wednesday is so worth it. And just looking at this artwork here, like, okay, let me say right off the bat. So you start episode 1, right, and it goes through this truly amazing like intro title sequence. The visuals are amazing. The music is amazing. It's like hypnotic, the visuals in this intro sequence. And my question is, I don't know why they did this, but like you only see it in episode 1. Like you see that like intro, that epic gothic intro in episode 1, and then episode 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, it just does a quick little like it like zooms in on Jenna Ortega's eyes and says Wednesday, and then like that's it. You don't get the intro, and you have to wait until the season finale. Episode 8 finally has the intro again, but I'm like, that's so weird. Like, I mean, usually on Netflix, like they have the skip intro button. I'm like, I've seen it already. I'll skip the intro. This is the opposite, where I'm like, where is the intro? Like, why did you take it out of the episode? Like, what? Like, why not just have it in all 8 episodes? That was so weird to me, especially since they clearly worked so hard on it. I mean, I don't get it. Like, but yeah, that was one weird little nitpick, like little thing that stuck out to me. But yeah, let's talk about Wednesday. So I'm a big Addams Family fan, going way back. I mean, thanks to this lovely woman right here, Christina Ricci. Christina Ricci had a legendary performance as Wednesday Addams in the 90s, and that was kind of what I grew up on. That she was my Wednesday. But I love kind of all iterations of the Addams Family. I even really like whatchamacallit. I think that the animated movies, the recent ones from like 2019 or so. Those 2 animated movies where Chloe Moretz plays Wednesday, I think those are underrated. I really like those as well. But yeah, no, this show is my favorite Addams Family, project that I can think of. Like it's incredibly well done. Again, it's a 10 out of 10. I think it is. If you have a Netflix account, you have to watch this. Like there's no excuse. And honestly, the way that like things like Stranger Things or Squid Game will like sell people on Netflix, like, oh, I'm gonna sub for a month just to watch this one show. Make Wednesday that show. Like seriously, I mean, watch Wednesday today on a Wednesday. Like do it if you have Netflix, or freaking get Netflix for a month. It's only 8 episodes. You can binge it in a month. Get Netflix for that month. Binge Wednesday. Then whatever time you have left over for that month, whatever. Watch Stranger Things or watch Squid Game. I don't care. Watch Zoids for all I care, But yeah, watch Wednesday for God's sakes. Watch Wednesday. The pedigree of this show, like I don't know why I held off, because I heard bad things. Not bad things, but like I heard some things about it. Like I don't know. It just goes to show, like, always give a show a chance. Don't go by what people tell you. Because I was hearing things like, oh, whatever. It's like the hype is overblown, or like, oh, it's kind of like a CW drama, or like, it's just like there's all this hype, but it's not worth it, or it's just a dumb teen show. I mean, I love dumb teen shows. Like I don't know why I let that stuff, but I did like worry. I was like, oh, maybe it's like one of those like overhyped shows, and I'm actually not gonna like it, or whatever. Because when it came out, it was a big thing. It was a bit big, especially that dance scene went completely viral. We'll get to that. We'll get to everything on my little vision board. I'm sorry. I apologize for being all over the place, but that's why I like to have these, like, kind of organize my thoughts with like pictures. I don't know if other people do this. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just crazy. It helps me with the streams though. I hope you guys enjoy the visuals. But yeah, with Wednesday, so I went in almost blind, not knowing very much about it. Obviously, I'm familiar with the Addams Family characters, but I don't think you need to be. I feel like this show is kind of a self-contained. Like, you can just kind of go into this. This could be your introduction, and it would be fine. But yeah, so aside from having Emma Myers in it, no, like the pedigree of this show. Let's talk about this for a second. So, the show was created by Alfred Goh and Miles Miller. That means a lot to me because this duo, they've done a lot of projects, but like one of the things they're most known for is the WB/CW show Smallville, and I think that's why, you know, some of the CW comparisons were drawn here. I grew up on Smallville. I freaking love Smallville. So seeing those two attached to this project, I'm like, oh, here we go. Like, let's go. Let's go. That's awesome. Yeah. So the people who made Smallville also made this. Okay. And then let's go further. So Tim Burton directed several episodes of this. I mean, that shouldn't come as much of a shock. Like, this is so his, you know, cup of tea. Like Wednesday is like a gothic, you know, emo goth girl. You know, it's like perfect. It's perfect for Tim Burton. I mean, you look at everything about this screams Tim Burton. Same with the music by Danny Elfman. You know, Tim Burton's friend, Danny Elfman, does the music. Like, again, the visuals, the music, everything is perfect. Everything's absolutely perfect. And then you have the cast. The cast is fantastic. So, I mean, we'll go into like this. This is like the debate, right? So like with back in the day with the Evangelion fandom, people were always, you know, that was the age old question: Asuka versus Rei, who is best girl? And I'll try and reach that question, you know, answer that question by the end of the stream. But yeah, who is best girl? That is the question here. We have Wednesday Addams, played by Jenna Ortega. Okay. Legendary performance. This is what put her on the map. I thought, like, that was another like reservation I had, was like, people were like, oh, you have to see Jenna in Wednesday. I thought that actress was kind of like, I don't know, overblown or overhyped, because I'd seen her in some other things. Like, I saw her in Scream, and like, and that was like at the peak of her blowing up. And I mean, I thought she was fine, but I really didn't understand why people liked her so much. You will like her because of Wednesday. Like no, I'm a fan now. I've seen her in several movies, and I thought she was like kind of mid, or, you know, nothing to really, you know, sneeze at. But no, she's so fantastic in this show. So like I am a fan at this point. This converted me. So we have Jenna Ortega as Wednesday Addams, and then we have her best friend Enid Sinclair, played by Emma Myers, and this is the show that started Emma Myers. This is the show that put her on the map as well, and she is now starring in Minecraft. Probably the most lucrative, most, you know, financially successful movie of 2025. So she's on the map now. Both of these actresses are now rising stars. So, and they're both fantastic. They're both great in this show. I'll kind of get into that later, like which I prefer. But like, yeah, I mean, there's a, just like Asuka versus Rei, there's a case to be made for both of them. Who's best girl? But yeah, all of my favorite people are involved in this show. Oh, and let's not forget her. So that was a big surprise to me, actually, is Christina Ricci. I heard she was in the show, and you know, and that's like a perfect little nod, like paying tribute to the Wednesday that came before. I love little things like that. I really do. Like CW shows will even do that. Like, you know, the Supergirl show, they'll have, like, you know, the previous Supergirl pop up in a cameo. You know, same thing with, like, you know, the Superman from the Lois and Clark Adventures of Superman. Like, he'll pop up for a second. You know, little things like that. But yeah, I thought so Christina Ricci plays one of the teachers at the school, and I thought, okay, so here's like the scene where she like kind of pops out and like waves, and she's like, oh, hi, like, I'm your dorm mother. You know, she's the dorm mother for Wednesday and Enid, and she kind of like says hello, make sure they settle in. I thought that was it. Like, I thought it was just like because she's a busy woman, she's still acting. Like, I thought, oh, she's obviously, you know, not a main character. She's just gonna pop in and say hello, and then that's it. That's your Christina Ricci cameo. Believe me when I say I was very pleasantly surprised. She is in the whole show. Like, she is a major character. I don't want to like go too deep into, you know, spoiler territory just yet, but like, yeah, like she's like, don't you worry, she's in this show, and I was so happy to see that. There's some weird people. There's some weird there's some weird fans. As a very general statement, but like, I don't know what people expected. Like, I saw some people were like, oh, Christina Ricci's in Wednesday. Oh, she's not playing Wednesday. Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, what? So I don't know. It's like some weirdos were like mad about that or something. Yeah, I'm reminded of like the fucking like. Do you remember like that Power Rangers movie in 2017 where Jason David Frank, Tommy, he had like a cameo, and people were like, well, why couldn't he play one of the Power Rangers? And it's like, bro, he's like 50. Like, are you insane? Are you insane? Are you crazy? Like, I don't, you're just a fanboy. Like, but like, it has to like make sense, bro. Like, so like, I think that's like crazy fans or people that just like, I don't know, don't live in reality. They thought Christina Ricci could still play Wednesday. Maybe they like didn't know the premise of the show, and they thought like, oh, this is like a show. I don't know. Like, this is obviously like kind of a self-contained, but I think people thought that this was like a continuation of sorts, because again, Christina Ricci is in it, and they're like, oh, maybe it's like, Grown Up Wednesday or something played by Christina Ricci. I don't think I would want to see that. I don't know. I think this was perfect. I mean, to be fair, I have I love the show a lot. I have a few problems with it. I have a few like little gripes and nitpicks, but I mean, one thing that I don't love, and again, this is why, if you want like, I don't know, I don't want to get into like an elitist, like, if you want the pure Addams Family experience, because again, it's in the title. This is more of a Wednesday show. If you want the Addams Family experience, I would either go with the Christina Ricci movies, or at least the animated films, because that way you get the whole family and the whole kooky family. And also, like, I don't love how they aged. I mean, Jenna Ortega is what, like 20 or something like that. Same with Emma Myers. So like their characters are older. Like this is not the Wednesday that Like, she's supposed to be a little kid. She's supposed to be about Pugsley's age. And Pugsley's in the show. He is like age appropriate. He's the age that you imagine Pugsley being. And Wednesday is his older sister, his much older sister, his like high school senior older sister. But that was like the only, they had to make that change because they wanted to have the, Smallville type of high school setting. So they just kind of forced it by aging her up. I don't know. I kind of have mixed thoughts about that. Not going too far into like, like I don't know. I'm just gonna. I don't want to go too deep into this, like, because this is about Wednesday. But like, I'm gonna talk about Game of Thrones again very briefly. But like, if you read the books, or if you know anything about the books in Game of Thrones, like, all of those characters are very, very young. Like, they're much younger than you imagine them to be. Like Jon Snow and Daenerys, I think they're both supposed to be like 14 or maybe younger. Like, everyone's very, very young. They're all children. And then in Game of Thrones, they did the thing where they're like, well, we want to make them older and sexier, and so like now they're adults instead, and that way we can have Daenerys coming out of the bath in the first episode, like and like I get it, but at the same time I always kind of dislike that type of commercialization where it's like, oh well, let's just make these changes to kind of make it more more appealing, or more whatever, sexier or whatever. And so like that's it. That is a kind of a change where I'm not. I see the same thing here where they're like, oh, well, people might like an older Wednesday, like a prettier, sexier Wednesday, blah, 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 the one that's in high school. And I'm kind of like, But at the same time, and we'll get into this, but like, and that leads to like some of the CW comparisons, the CW high school dramas. It's here. Believe me, it's in this show. It is. Like, that is kind of not a bad comparison in some ways. But at the same time, I think I've said this before. Like, I do love CW shows. So again, this show is like kind of tailor made for me. I can't believe it. But like I do like high school setting show. I love any show that's kind of like set in a school. I don't know what it is about that, but like the same thing with like Hogwarts. Like Harry Potter. I just love the school setting. And honestly, Wednesday is not too different from Harry Potter either. Like, it's like a kind of a magical school where all these misfits with like, mutants and misfits and magically inclined folks like all go to this secret school. It is very Hogwarts. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not. It's Nevermore Academy. Excuse me. It's totally different. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Yeah, no, it's fire. It's so fire. I love everything about this show. I really do. It's really, really cool. And again, Tim Burton, like he definitely, in my opinion, fell off. Like, in the 80s, 90s, he made some amazing stuff, but later on, like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory remake and stuff like that, like he definitely fell off. But yeah, this is the first project by him that in a long time that I've really, really loved, and I'm so glad to see him kind of returning to form. And has he done other TV work before? It's also weird seeing him like, do TV work. And again, this is like his direction. So one shot that people talk about, the cinematography in the show is like the sets, the costumes, everything is 10 out of 10. I love Wednesday's like little goth outfit, her version of like the Nevermore Academy, and then the outfit that Enid wears is like honestly, it's so her because it's more colorful than the typical Nevermore outfit, and it also kind of reminds me of Beetlejuice. I don't know if that, I'm sure that was intentional, but it's kind of reminding me of Beetlejuice's outfit a little bit. Anyway. But yeah, Wednesday and her roommate Enid, that's what they are. They're roommates, and they're like complete polar freaking opposites. They do the thing, like they have the big fight because they're just complete opposites. They're so different, and they do the thing where they draw the line down the room. And I love the shot where the Christina Ricci, she comes in, the dorm mom, to like check on them, and they've like divided the room in half, and the way that they stand on either side of the line with the freaking stained glass window. Half of it is like the stained glass, and then Wednesday like colored the other one like black and white. It's perfect. It reflects both of them so perfectly, their differences. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, magnificent shot. And there are so many like really good shots in this show. Like it really looks like a movie. I don't know. I'm assuming this had a pretty big budget because it looks like a movie. Like I love it. I love it. Okay. What else? Yeah, where was I going with it? So, yeah, what else? Yeah, like, so Wednesday, I like, see, this is where people were like criticizing or saying it as a negative, but I say this as a positive. Yes, it did remind me of CW shows. It did, and I like CW shows. So, like I don't know, it kind of reminded me, at times it reminded me of like Riverdale. Riverdale's another show that's like a high school type of show, and people are gonna be like, I know I keep making these Riverdale references, and no one else watches that show but me. But you know what? That's your problem. You get on my level, okay? Get on my level. But Riverdale. So Wednesday, okay. What I also didn't know about this show, I didn't know it was like a school setting, which I love. I didn't know that it was a murder mystery. That's also what this show is, and that's like my jam. I mean, that's why I watched the other Emma Myers show. She went from what? I just have all these pictures of Emma Myers. Don't ask. She went from Wednesday to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, the BBC murder mystery show about teens. So Emma Myers is just slaying. She's just killing the murder mystery genre right now. I love her. But yeah, Riverdale, before it turned to shit, before it went like really off the deep end with the supernatural stuff, Riverdale was a murder mystery show set in this small town, and I loved it. Wednesday is a murder mystery. We also have, Wednesday, she's like this really smart kid. She is like always writing on her typewriter in her room. Like you hear the, keys click, 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 click. And that's kind of like one of the reasons why they have the big fight is like Wednesday's always keeping Enid up with either her freaking her aggressive cello playing on the patio, or she's like on the typewriter, click, 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 being super loud, writing her like novel or whatever. That remind it's a good way to like bookend episodes and stuff, and like you hear her like inner narration as she's typing away. And I'm sorry, but that really reminded me of Riverdale, where if you remember, like Jughead was always working on his novel, and he's always like typing away at the typewriter. He had a typewriter as well, and so I feel like that was like maybe not. I don't know if that was like an intentional nod or not, but like you gotta admit it's similar. And again, I loved those early episodes of Riverdale, so like that made me happy when it reminded me of that. And it's so funny to me because like you never get to see it. I would do anything. I would kill to like read Wednesday's novel that she's writing. Like I hope they like release like an excerpt or something on the website or something at some point. I'd love to read the book that she's writing, because the few times she talks about it. She talks about it in her therapy sessions. Oh yeah, she has a therapist. She has like a court mandated therapy thing. Because all right, let me. I'm so all over the place. I'm sorry. Let's start at the beginning. Okay. Let's start at the beginning. So episode 1. Why does Wednesday get sent to Nevermore Academy? So at first she's attending like a normal high school with like normal people, and you can imagine that doesn't go very well. So her little brother Pugsley is being bullied by the kids at school, and it's one of those situations where Wednesday, as you know, she always tortures him herself, but she's like, well, I'm the only one that gets to torture Pugsley, like, you can't do, so she does have like a protective older sister, side to her sometimes. And that's one like little tiny gripe I have is, again, I love the Addams family, the whole cast, the whole family. I mean, Wednesday was always my favorite character. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like a lot of people will say that. With Morticia's is a close second, but I mean, it makes the most sense. If you're gonna have like a show about just the one character and focus on just one character, it's gonna be Wednesday. I get it. Again, it's just like a tiny little thing for me. Is like I would like to see the whole family, and you do here and there like bits and pieces. But it is very much so the Wednesday show. She's in a new setting. Deal with it. Deal with it. But I mean, if you want the family, Christina Ricci has those 2 movies, right? So you could just go back to those. But yeah, Wednesday, she gets pissed off because they're bullying Pugsley, so she follows the boys into the school swimming pool, and she fills it with piranhas and attempts to kill them, basically. So she gets expelled, and she has to get sent to the Nevermore Academy, which is the same prestigious prep school that Morticia and Gomez attended, and that's how they met and fall in love and all this stuff. Curious that they didn't send her to that in the first place, but, whatever. And there's like a really funny line. The show is full of like, trademark Tim Burton dark humor, which is why I love it. But there's one really funny line right away where so Wednesday also has to have these court mandated therapy sessions with a therapist because she tried to kill these 2 boys. So and you get to see those therapy sessions. Those are wild. Those are great too. And it kind of reminded me of one of my other favorite shows, The Sopranos, where Tony and Dr. Amalfi are having their therapy sessions every episode, and those are always like a highlight for me in that show. But yeah, Wednesday's driving her therapist like up the wall as you can imagine. But the therapist says something like, you don't want like attempted murder on your school record, on your permanent record, do you? And Wednesday's response, she's just like, no, I don't. I don't want people to know that I failed to close the deal. Wednesday has the greatest like retorts, the greatest like comebacks ever. Like, it's so worth it to watch it. Her like deadpan, voice, her deadpan and like stone cold eyes, her deadpan attitude. She's great. She really is great. Jenna Ortega, masterful performance. She channeled Wednesday to a fault. She really did. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't know. Where was I going? So yeah, that's why she gets sent to Nevermore Academy, which is in so many ways it's basically Hogwarts, because there's all sorts of people who either have magic powers or psychic powers or some sort of mutants or magical creatures themselves, and all the teachers have some sort of power. The headmistress, is played by Gwendolyn Christie, who you may know, once again, I mentioned it earlier, a little-known show called Game of Thrones. Do you remember Brienne of Tarth, the giant woman? Yeah, she is the headmistress. She's the Dumbledore of this show, and she's awesome. Like, I mean, I always liked that actress, even though she was, like, woefully misused as Captain Phasma in Star Wars Force Awakens. Did you know that was Gwendolyn Christie in the silver armor? It was. They never had her take the helmet off for some reason, but yeah, horribly underused in the Star Wars films. But yeah, she's great in general. But she is the Dumbledore of this show, and I love her. She is like so done with. I mean, most of the staff are just done with Wednesday as soon as she. But yeah, so she's great in the show as well. Where else does it go? Oh yeah, so. The show is about a lot of things, but one of the big themes is the idea of being an outcast among outcasts. I mean, it's really saying something that Wednesday, she literally goes to a school for misfits like her, but she still has trouble fitting in. She makes all of the enemies and really can't make any friends. I mean, she eventually makes one, but man, I mean, she lucked out. She won the roommate lottery as far as I'm concerned, because even though obviously they rub each other the wrong way at first, Enid is like kind of the Mother Teresa here, where like most people cannot tolerate this like horrible, haughty, like, like holier than thou goth girl, and like Enid is just such a saint that she's the one person who can kind of get through to her and like warm that, melt that icy heart to a small degree. But yeah, I mean, Enid is also, I mean, again, that's kind of one of the things I really liked about the show. Is, yeah, the theme of like how you can be an outcast even amongst outcasts. Like Enid herself, she is. A lot of people didn't know. I didn't know this until I watched the show. So Enid is a magical creature herself. So she's a werewolf. I'm gonna say that again. She's a werewolf. No, not a werecat. She is a werewolf. Obviously, she's not a normal werewolf, and actually, I really like it. She makes everything her. It's hard to explain. She makes everything her own type of, like, she adds her own style to everything. So she is like a kind of a, I don't know, like a proto werewolf, or like, so because there's a scene where like the full moon is out and Wednesday's like, well, why aren't you wolfing out? Like, what's wrong with you? And she's like, well, I can't really do that. Like, I didn't get that gift. Like, the rest of my family did, and like I can just do this. And she like her hand morphs into like claws, or not even, basically her fingernails just grow into claws. But she's like, painted her nails because she's like a girly girl, and like, so she, even like the werewolf claw thing, she made it her own. You know what I mean? Just by doing that little touch. And yeah, so like she's kind of an outcast, and her, like, she's like, she faces, like, she has all these problems. Like, even though she's like the bubbly, cheerful, super positive one of the group, she has every character. Like, every character is interesting. Trust me, every character has problems. Every character is interesting. Every character has more layers than they first appear. But even Enid, like, who just seems like a kind of at first like a one note, like, super peppy, popular girl, blah blah blah. She's like she runs the gossip column, like the social media stuff, and that's like a really funny scene when she first meets Wednesday. Wednesday doesn't even have a phone, and like Enid is just like, oh, you're like a ghost. Like, I can't find you. Like, where are you on socials? Like, are you on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram? Like, what's your Instagram? And Wednesday's just like, I don't have these things. And Enid's just like, who are you? What? You don't exist to me. Like, who are you? Like, what do you mean you don't have a phone? So, like, again, they're just such polar opposites. But, sometimes opposites attract, and they do become very, very good friends by the end of the show. And it's done in a very natural, organic way. Like, it's not forced at all. Like, again, I'm sorry, people are going to hate me. I'm bringing up Riverdale. But, like, I really like the duo. Like, there's a couple of duos that I really like. But I really liked when Archie and Jughead were friends, and they, would kind of team up to solve a mystery, and they were very different too. Like, Archie was like the jock, he was the football guy, and Jughead was like the artsy guy, the really smart guy that wrote novels on his typewriter. But they were opposites, but they were also best friends. Like, the opposites kind of do attract sometimes, and this is very much the same thing with Wednesday and Enid. Yeah, I guess the show did remind me a bit of Riverdale, and I mean that in a good way. I'm not like, I don't know. So some people like CW equals bad or trash or whatever. Like Smallville, oh, Smallville bad. I mean, Smallville was one of my favorite shows growing up, so I'm already freaking sold. I like this better than Smallville. I don't know if I like this better than Riverdale. I have to like think about that. Because Riverdale, I'm also, some of these shows, like, I'm just very biased towards. But, like, objectively, though, like, yeah, I mean, Wednesday is a very, very well-made, like, it deserves the praise. Like, again, I say the same thing I said about Squid Game and other, like, Netflix hits. Like, this deserves the hype. It deserves the praise that it got. I will absolutely say that. But, yeah, Enid is kind of an outcast. Like, she's not really viewed as, and she, like, has this scene where she, like, kind of breaks down and cries in front of Wednesday because she's like, yeah, like, if I don't figure this shit out, like, if I can't, like, fully transform, then it might never happen. And Wednesday's like, so what? And she's like, well, I'll be thrown out of my family, and I won't be able to join a pack. I won't, have a mate. And she's like, so what? Well, I'll die alone. So what? And Wednesday's like, these are not bad things, Enid. And she's like, yes, they are. And she's like, I don't want to. I'm not like you. I don't want to be alone for the rest of my life. I want to belong to something. I want to be part of a group. I mean, again, she's a werewolf. She literally has the pack mentality. And Wednesday's just like, I see no problem here. Like, I would love to die alone. I would like to be alone right now. Can you leave? Like, leave me alone. But this leads to one of my favorite scene. Like the show again, it's so fucking funny. Like it is like one of the funniest shows I've seen in a while, and I was not really expecting that. I wasn't. I was expecting them just kind of like a moody goth, Tim Burton type of show, and it is. But it's also like really really funny at times. So what happens is, so Enid's like crying her eyes out on the terrace, and Wednesday's like, like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying? And this is something else I like about Enid, where Enid, she is very, supportive and positive and peppy, but like she's not a pushover. Like even though Wednesday constantly takes shots at people, like she's always so mean, and she shits on Enid as well. But Enid bites back a little bit. Like Enid doesn't let her just like shit all over her. Like she has a backbone sometimes, and like she has a line where she says, Wednesday like, what's wrong with you? And she's like, it's called crying. Like, what? Wait, don't you do that? Wednesday like, what, is that too good for you too? Enid does stand up for herself a little bit, and I really like that about her. And this leads to like one of the funny, if not the funniest sequence in the show. Like I was like, I was like laughing my ass off. I was almost like crying. I was laughing so hard. But like, yeah, Enid's like, don't you ever cry? And Wednesday's like, I did once, and it happened when I was 6. And we go to this flashback where she's like, I was walking my pet scorpion for his morning stroll, for his mid-afternoon stroll as usual, and it shows like tiny Wednesday, it's like chibi Wednesday. She's walking this like pet scorpion through the park or whatever, and these boys come and they like they harass her and they kill her scorpion. And she's like, no, and she has to bury it, and she's like at the tombstone crying, and I'm like, oh my lord, I can't. It was so dramatic, it was so over the top. I was like losing my shit, and she's like, that is the first and last time I cried, because I realized that crying won't do anything, won't solve anything, and I learned that lesson when I was 6, Enid. It's just like, what the fuck? And yeah, it's so nuts. Like the humor in this show, it almost reminds me of one of my favorite shows, my favorite Nicktoon, Invader Zim. The humor is just crazy, and that's why I love it. There's like another great scene real quick where I'm just talking about kind of the funny scenes, but Wednesday harasses this barista, this like coffee shop barista named Tyler. But she's so like Jenna Ortega is so good at like the way she carries herself. She's always like kind of walking around like she's a freaking like NPC in a video game. She's like clonking around like so stiff, like her movements are stiff, and she's like short, and she like just will appear in front of people and start talking to them. So she constantly jump scares people, and it's always like really fucking funny. But yeah, the barista is like working on this like coffee machine, and it's like spewing out smoke everywhere, and then Wednesday just kind of appears through the smoke, and he's like, oh my god. She's like, what, stop doing that. But she's like talking to him, and she wants like a macchiato or something. And the guy's like, yeah, we don't have that. The espresso machine's broken. All we have is the drip or whatever. And bear in mind, while she's talking to him, a guy in the background is using the drip to like fill up his coffee cup, okay? This is important. So Wednesday goes off immediately. She's like, I don't drink drip. Drip is for people that hate themselves and have given up on any meaning in their lives or whatever, and realize that their lives have no meaning. And the guy in the background hears her, and he just, without a word, even though he filled up the cup, he just places the cup back down on the counter and walks away and refuses to drink the coffee. And I'm like, oh my god, she's so mean. She's so fucking. And it was so fucking funny though. I lost it. I lost my shit when I was watching this. I had to rewind that. Like, there's some really really good jokes, some really good visual gags in the show. Another one is this guy's like talking to Enid when she first gets there, and he's like, yeah, like, and she's like, it's like, yeah, no, I heard all this shit about your roommate, like, she's crazy, she kills people and she like eats them, like, watch your back. And then Enid like steps to the side, and Wednesday's been standing behind her the whole time. Like little visual gags like that are so fucking funny to me. I love it. Oh, holy shit, I love it. But yeah, Enid's an outcast among outcasts. Same thing with Christina Ricci's character. I won't go too deep into her, because like she actually has like a really important role to play later on in the story. But all you need to know is she has a conversation early on with Wednesday where she's like, yeah, like, no, it's funny because like I don't even really fit in here, because she was kind of a weirdo in like the normie town, if you will. But she's not a magical being. She doesn't have powers or anything. She's not. So she's the only. And they have a term. It's just like in Harry Potter, how there's like the witches and wizards, and then the muggles, or like the normal people, like what's his name, Dudley or whatever. But yeah, like, so Christina Ricci is a muggle. She's a normie. That's what they call them in Wednesday. But she didn't fit in the normie town, so she went to Nevermore Academy to teach. But she also doesn't fit in here because, she's kind of like a halfway type of thing. She doesn't really understand like the magical side of things. She doesn't have powers, or she's not like a werewolf or a vampire or anything. So again, you really feel bad for her, and like every scene, she's just always trying to, it's hard to put, but like Christina Ricci, my God, what a great actress, and she's so beautiful. She really doesn't look like she's aged. Maybe she could still play Wednesday. No, no, she's got to be like 45. Maybe she could still play Wednesday. No, I mean, she looks great. She looks great. She doesn't age like a day. But I'm trying to think. She just has this like air about her where like, again, she never fits in, and she's really trying. She's really trying to fit in. Like, when there's a scene at the coffee shop where the headmistress, played by Gwendolyn Christie, she's like talking to the mayor, and Christina Ricci happens to be there, and she just kind of like, like saunters over, and they're just kind of like, she's kind of sheepish, but she wants to be part of the conversation. It's hard to explain, but like, you really feel bad for her. She's like, she just wants to like fit in, and she wants to like, she's just kind of like, oh hi, headmistress, oh who's this, and she's just really, she'll really do anything to just kind of like be a part of something, get in on a conversation, like make a friend. Goddamn, it's so hard for her, Yeah, it sucks. Like, so like even when you go to a school for outcasts, there are still plenty of outcasts within the outcasts. Yeah, I mean, man, there's so, I don't want to go on for, I'm going to do my best not to go over an hour here. I'm going to like, I'm already at 40 minutes. I've already been talking. I could talk about this show all day. I love it. So one of the other things that happens early on when Wednesday gets to the school is there's this kid being bullied by Bianca. I didn't get a picture. I'm sorry. I filled up my vision board already. But Bianca, she's kind of like the school bitch. She's like the one who, what do they call her? Like the queen bee or whatever. And Wednesday has a great line about that. She's like, well, but the thing about queen bees is they only get the one sting, and then once you rip out their stinger, they die instantly or whatever. And Bianca's face just like drops. She's like, what did you just say? Like, did you just threaten to kill me? Yeah, no, Bianca, she's like the pop. Again, everyone has layers. Like, everyone kind of, at first they feel like kind of like a stereotypical character, or like, oh, this is that archetype. But like, no, trust me. Like, I promise you, stay with the show. Everyone has depth. Okay, everyone, even Wednesday, who is like the stoic goth emo girl, and like that's another thing is like, I feel like okay, well, all right. I'll get back to Wednesday. I have a lot to say about Wednesday. Obviously, but let me talk about Bianca. So she's kind of like if you watch Buffy back in the day, she's like the Cordelia. She's the bitchy girl, the queen bee, the one who picks on Wednesday and her friends. She's the popular girl, and she's like captain of the fencing team. And so Wednesday, Bianca's picking on this kid. So Wednesday challenges to a fencing duel, and that's a really, really cool fight scene. Like, if you know anything about Addams Family, you know that Gomez and Morticia love to fence. So like, even though in this show it comes a little bit out of left field, I would have preferred, like, it wouldn't have been that hard, guys. Like, Tim Burton, are you listening? You could have had like an earlier scene where, like, just like in one of the Christina Ricci movies, where just have that quick scene at like breakfast where, as Gomez is like eating his bagel or whatever, and he's just like fencing. He has the shirt off, the suspenders on, and he's like fencing Morticia while she like paints her nails or whatever, and like just establish that the family fences. There's a reason why she knows how to fence. But anyway, yeah, there is a good reason for her to know how to fence. So she challenges Bianca, and she actually, this shocked me. I mean, she literally, okay. let's just go into, let's just go. Okay. So I said this about, where is it? I have it here. So Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Emma Myers' show. I asked the question if she was a Mary Sue, if Pip was, and I concluded that she was not. Is Wednesday a Mary Sue? Ooh, yeah. In a lot of ways she is. I mean, she's one of those, like, oh, I'm the new girl in town and everyone's in love with me and everything's about me and I'm good at everything and I'm super smart and talented and yeah, Yeah, I mean, yeah, they could have toned down that shit a little bit. I mean, the fact that this is a comedy definitely helps. So like, it kind of helps when she's like so ridiculously good at everything. It kind of comes off comedic, and it kind of helps with the show's tone. It's kind of in line with the show's tone. So it's like, but yeah, it does get kind of annoying. So like, yeah, Wednesday, like I said, she's super smart. She writes books, and she's like an expert fencer. She like just got to the school, and she's like already able to like fight on par with the school's team fencing captain. But she does lose. That shocked me. She does lose. And I'm like, okay, so she's not perfect. She's not flawless. And like I said before, like she actually has a lot of flaws, like, especially with like her people skills. She's like horrible at the, everyone, in some ways everyone kind of hates her, or at least the teachers all hate her. She has trouble fitting in. Yeah, but like she is kind of like, there's so many times where it's like, oh, well, this is in like Spanish or French or Italian, and she's like, oh, well, that's okay, I've like mastered every language. It's like, oh, of course you have. Okay. Yeah, another scene I didn't like was like, the fencing makes sense. That's set up by like Gomez's interest in fencing. But there's another scene where there's like a kid being bullied at the diner, and then Wednesday kind of shows up and says like, back off, and they're like, well, what are you gonna do? You're like a 4 foot tall goth girl, like what are you gonna do? And then it's revealed that she's like, whatever, she's been trained in like fucking like taekwondo or something, and she just like beats the shit out of these four like much bigger guys. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, she's an action girl now, like, all right, she's good at everything. She's a Mary Sue in a lot of ways. Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't help that like everyone's instantly in love with her. Like I was saying, so like that's where the CW comparisons are definitely appropriate, definitely apt. So she like just got to this school in episode 1, just episode 1 alone. She has, let me count, Rowan, Xavier, Tyler, at least 3 love interests, like right away. Yeah, I mean, Wednesday's one of those characters where like, I don't know. I just feel like she really wouldn't have any love interests, right? Because she wouldn't have any interest in boys. If I had to like, I'll get into this in a second, but there's definitely like a huge subset of the fan base that like really wants these 2 girls to be lesbians. Like they really want Enid and the shippers who ship, Enid and Wednesday. They just really want these 2 to hook up, and I'm like, I mean, yeah, we'll get there, but like, no, like Wednesday's not gay, or I mean, honestly, I have trouble believing that she's straight. I mean, I think she would be the closest label I'd give her is asexual. Like, I don't. Again, it's like, it's weird for me to think about. Again, I don't really like how, because the Wednesday that I know, like the Wednesday in my mind, or the Wednesday from every other piece of media, she's always a little girl. She's supposed to be Pugsley's age. Like, so she doesn't care about boys. She never did. But now we're doing this thing where she's like 17 or so, and like, yeah, I guess she likes boys, or boys like her. It's weird. It's kind of weird to see her in that setting. And again, that's where like the CW comparisons, like the Riverdale or the Smallville, like it's high school, everyone's horny, and like everyone's dating everyone, and like, Wednesday has like all these guys that want to date her, and it's weird to see her in that setting, kind of. But like, yeah, I mean, I feel like she would be asexual. I feel like she wouldn't really care about any of them, right? And she does kind of show interest that way. So confirmed for straight. Sorry shippers, confirmed for not lesbian. But anyway. But yeah, she has like 3 love interests. There's Rowan, the kid, the nerdy guy that she saves, and of course like he's kind of like in love with her, obsessed with her after she saves him from Bianca. There is Xavier, who he seems like the best match for her, honestly. He's like the broody, artistic guy. He's like very skinny, he's very gaunt, he's very tall, and he actually has a cool power. So his power is he's an artist, right? And so if you've ever seen yeah, this is a bit of a stretch, but if you've seen Naruto Shippuden, going right to that, going full weeb, Naruto Shippuden, there's the guy Sai, who like he does like calligraphy, like he draws things and they come to life. You know what I mean? His like drawings can kind of come to life. Xavier has a very similar power, and it's a really cool effect that they did, where he'll draw a painting, he'll paint Wednesday, and then he can make the painting kind of come to life and dance and stuff. It's really cool. It's really, really cool. But yeah, Xavier, he seems kind of like the best match for Wednesday, but ironically, yeah, she doesn't really take to him as much as no, they don't really get together or anything. It's like set up, but like no, she has no interest. The only one, and my favorite out of the three, there's, because I think of something like Twilight. Okay, you have like the dark broody guy. There's like Edward, and then there's like Jacob, like kind of like the normal guy. Tyler is like the normal, like he's the barista the Starbucks barista that she harasses in episode 1. Yeah, Tyler he becomes like a love interest actually, and I'm like, honestly, like, yeah, I actually really like Tyler. I don't know, it's like it's good that he's around, because like this is a show of like misfits and freaks and all this stuff and like all these crazy over the top characters, and like yeah, to have like one normal guy, it is kind of a good balancing type of thing. You know what I mean? But Tyler, he's not like a one note, even though he's like the everyman, like he has shit going on too, like he's like more interesting than you would think, because well, I mean, for one thing, the town sheriff, who hates Wednesday, by the way, he thinks that she's like butting into stuff that she has no like she's trying to solve a murder mystery, and like the sheriff's like, you should butt out, you're a teenage girl, like stay in your lane type of thing. The sheriff is Tyler's dad. So there's one interesting element, is like, yeah, his dad hates her and hates that she's spending time with him, hates the idea of them getting together. And then Tyler's mother is actually, she died, and Tyler was like really, he was affected by it, and so he has to go to therapy sessions, and he's always trying to get his dad to go as well, but the dad, like, doesn't believe in therapy, or thinks it's all bullshit or whatever. But Tyler goes to therapy. He actually sees the same therapist that Wednesday does, so they actually have that common ground there. So yeah, I mean, and the Wednesday Tyler thing, like, again, like they're pretty different, but they do kind of work as a couple. I'm just saying, I mean, and this is from a guy. It's really fucking weird to think of Wednesday in any kind of relationship, but like, yeah, no, if I had to ship her with anyone, yeah, it wouldn't be Xavier, and it wouldn't be Enid. Sorry, shippers. I would ship her with Tyler, and micro spoiler, they do kiss. Woo, and it doesn't go much further than that so far, but yeah, I mean, they kiss. They go on like a date or two, and yeah, I mean, and for Wednesday, that's huge. Like, no one can get through to her. But yeah, Tyler got a kiss from that. So there you go. Yeah. What else? Oh, I guess I didn't talk about. Yeah. So this is a murder mystery. So yeah, this show's a murder mystery. Oh wait. I was talking about Bianca. Sorry, I'm all over the place. Yeah, Bianca. So there's more layers to Bianca. So Bianca's whole thing. Okay. So. There's like not only love triangles, there's like a love quadrangle or whatever, love pentagon or whatever. But so Bianca used to date Xavier, the guy who's in love with Wednesday. Before she got to the school, Bianca and Xavier were a thing. Bianca's power is she is a siren, as in like a mermaid, or she, and you can even kind of see the scales on her skin. Like it's a really cool effect. But yeah, Bianca has to wear a special medallion because her siren song, or her voice, can basically get people to do whatever she wants, and that really leads to trust issues with her and people, as you can imagine, like, because her medallion isn't foolproof. It's just like anything. It only works like, let's say 90% of the time. But yeah, she used to date Xavier. They were like kind of the nevermore power couple, but Xavier found out about her powers, and you see both sides of their argument. It's like Xavier was kind of like, well, it got to a point where I could never really tell if you were using your powers on me, or, was this my decision, or were you making me think it was my decision? It really gets into like a head fuck space, a mind fuck space, mind fuck territory. But so he broke up with her, and so now he likes Wednesday, and of course Bianca and Wednesday already didn't get off to a good start. But now Bianca's ex that she wants to get together with is in love with Wednesday. So now Bianca hates Wednesday even more. You can see how there's like, yeah, there's definitely some teen drama. There's some CW drama, but like, I don't know. I like that stuff. Like, I think that's fun. It's fun. It's not like, the most gripping thing ever, but like, I like seeing the love triangles and stuff. I think it's fun. I do. One of the most, but yeah, Bianca's whole thing is that, and you get to see it comes in a later episode, but her mother visits the school, and she has like, the same way that Enid has like huge issues with her mother and her parents. Yeah, Bianca's got some issues too. Like, I mean, her mother is really messed up in a lot of ways, and long story short, the Sirens kind of run like almost like a cult, or like the modern take on them is like they use their powers as like salespeople. They basically push these like pyramid schemes and stuff over the phone, and they use their voices to convince people to sign up for these fucking pyramid schemes. But her mother's whole thing is like, apparently as you get older, your powers kind of start to wane, and so she's not meeting her like quota or her numbers for like the pyramid scheme, and so she's like, Bianca, you have to leave the school and come help me with this shit. And she's like, no. She's like, you're on your own. I don't want any part of that bullshit. But the mother kind of has some blackmail on her, because she's like, well, I know that you basically use your siren powers to like charm your way into getting into this prestigious exclusive school, and Bianca, like, the more you find, like, she was very sympathetic as well. Like, you find out how she like really tried to make her own life for herself. She really, again, her mother has a lot of issues. She tried to distance herself from her mother. Bianca's not even her real name. She took on like a different name. She like basically cheated her way into Nevermore so she could reinvent herself. And like she did. She became like the most popular girl, captain of the fencing team. She became like this big deal at Nevermore. But it was all based on kind of a lie, because she, again, had to, unfairly use her powers to get in. But that was her only escape from this kind of shitty life with her mom. And the mom is like blackmailing her. She's like, well, you have to help me, or else I'll tell them that you used your powers to get in, and you'll get kicked out of Nevermore, and like you won't be able to go there anymore anyway. And so that's a real like struggle for her. Yeah, like I don't know. That's rough. Like I really felt for Bianca, even though she was at first like just kind of the bully and Wednesday's rival, etc. Yeah, no, that sucks. And like, because of that, it's not just Xavier. Like, Bianca can't really be in any relationship, because she'll always have that trust issue as soon as people know that she's a siren. You know what I mean? It's kind of like Rogue it's almost like Rogue from X-Men with her, no touch thing with her, because of her, because of how her powers worked. It's like you can never really be intimate in certain ways with another person. That sucks big time. One little thing with Tim Burton. So he dropped all these references in Wednesday. I mean, again, Christina Ricci shows up, who used to play Wednesday. But aside from, and on top of that, he drops a bunch of Batman references, which I was not expecting. I mean, he famously made Batman 89 and also Batman Returns. So, for one, like right away, let's talk about Enid Sinclair, who is my favorite character, by the way. This should come as no surprise. I know everyone's going to say I'm the Emma Myers simp. Fine, go ahead, say it. Yeah, I mean, she has like the perky, peppy personality. She doesn't have the craziness of Harley Quinn, but she does definitely have like the upbeat, perky personality. And she has like the Margot Robbie hair, like the blonde hair with like the partially blue, partially red, partially pink hair. So that there's no way that was not intentional. Like, Tim Burton was definitely making a nod to Harley Quinn, even though Harley Quinn did not appear in his Batman movie, but she is a huge Batman character. What's more is, during the big boat race episode, there's different teams based on different poems by Edgar Allan Poe. Oh yeah, Poe is a huge. I mean, the Academy is freaking called Nevermore, okay? But yeah, Edgar Allan Poe is a huge part of the show. Okay, his works are a huge part of the show. But yeah, there's a great boat race where each team models themselves after a famous Poe story, right? So Wednesday and Enid are the Black Cats, and they have to wear this like silly black cat costume, and of course it really is like the Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman costume from Tim Burton's Batman Returns. So that was a great little reference there. I love their costumes here. And then one of the teams, Xavier's team, is a team of Jokers, and he's literally wearing the Heath Ledger Joker makeup, which Tim Burton did not direct either, but like it is like a huge Batman reference, and I appreciate these references are 10 out of 10. There's so many references in the show. That's why I will kind of want to watch it again, because I'm sure stuff went over my head. One thing that I didn't pick up on right away that was pointed out to me is, like all the time they're making references like is she kooky or spooky or altogether ooky? They definitely, they make Addams Family references. There's a secret society that Wednesday is asked to join, and the way they get, like, you have to like get the statue to move, and the password is to snap twice, and like I'm like, from the intro, like I didn't pick up on that right away. Like, there's so many references. Oh my lord. Yeah, let's talk about okay, the dance that went so fucking viral. Okay. So apparently Jenna Ortega, like, she came up with that choreography all on her own. And that no, like, the dance is wild. If nothing else, like, watch the dance scene. But yeah, they have prom, they have, like, Nevermore prom, and it's a really fun episode. But and I don't have a picture of it, but yeah, I mean, Wednesday's dress is fantastic, and I love her little dance that she does. Enid's dance, or excuse me, Enid's dress and hair are really, breathtaking, and I wish I had a picture of it, but yeah, she steals the show as well in that episode. But Wednesday's dance, she's like freaking out at one point, like she like, oh, jeez, pardon me, I forgot to mention. So the whole thing, another change that they make, which is not in your normal Wednesday Addams Family fare, but Wednesday is also like an outcast. Like, she has a power as well. Yeah, that this is kind of a new one, but so Wednesday she's low key a psychic, and she has visions of the future. Just go with it. I actually when I heard that, I hated it instantly, but like now I do kind of like this idea where, so when she touches something, it'll trigger a vision in relation to that thing, like the future of that thing or whatever. And it's great. Like what it reminds me of, this is going back, but like if you remember like Buffy and Angel back in the day. So Cordelia, who I mentioned earlier, Cordelia used to have visions, right? And that would kind of kickstart the episode of Angel where she'll have a vision, and like that will be what the episode's about. It's the same thing with Wednesday. Like, Wednesday trying to solve this mystery, right? And so she'll like touch things and at the crime scene, and she'll like get a flash, and she goes into like shock, like the way her like head like jolts upright, like she's just been electrocuted. Like, it's a really cool effect that they do. And I always enjoy seeing her like have those visions. But yeah, she does like this jittery dance that like makes it look like she's having like either a seizure or like one of her visions. So she incorporates that into the dance that she does. It's really fucking cool. Yeah, the dance scene was a 10 out of 10. I'll wrap this up soon. I realize I've already been going on for an hour, which is to be expected. I'm covering 8 hours of TV in one video. Okay, leave me alone. Leave me alone. So yeah, I mean, there is a monster on campus that's fucking killing people, and that's another thing I liked about Wednesday is, I mean, it's not, I don't know if I'd say R per se, but like, I might like, I can't remember anyone dropping an F-bomb, but like, there's some really brutal like murder in the show. Like, when the monster like messes people up, he kills, like, and you see it. You see like snapped necks. You see like, really torn up bodies and shit, like blood everywhere. Like, people get messed up in the show. So there's a monster on campus that's like killing everyone, or killing people in town as well. And of course, the sheriff suspects those Nevermore freaks. He thinks it's like one of those people. And yeah, and there's all this pressure on the school to like figure out who's doing it to kind of clear the school of guilt. And I'm not going to tell you who it is or what I mean, you see like briefly what the monster looks like right here, but I want it's a really good reveal, is what I'm going to say. Like, it's a really good reveal what the monster is and who the monster is. It's a really good reveal. That's all I'm going to say. And it got me by surprise. It really did. And I feel like this was a red herring, but like one thing I wish that they played more with is so when I first start the show, right, I'm just kind of guessing. You meet all the characters, like who could it be? I mean, Xavier seems kind of sketch at first. A lot of people seem kind of sketch at first. I was actually kind of half curious and half hoping or wondering if Enid was the monster, like, because that would be such a rug pull, because Enid is so nice and so peppy and everything, but she's a werewolf, I mean, and the monster, curiously, the first time you see the monster, it's very protective of Wednesday. It kills the guy that's attacking Wednesday, and it leaves her alone. I'm like, well, that would fit in with Enid, wouldn't it? And then again, she's a werewolf, and I mean, she can't transform. But do we really know that? Like she just told, she could be lying, right? Like, she just told Wednesday that. We don't know. We haven't heard that information from anyone else in the show at that point. She just told us that. So who's to say that Enid's even like a reliable person? You know what I mean? Like, she could be lying. And I just wish that, and it's shown pretty early on into the show that Enid is not in fact the killer, but like I thought that would have been interesting, like make Enid the killer, or at least like play with the idea that because like there's definitely another episode Yeah, they were definitely like at least toying with that idea at one point, because like there's definitely an episode where she gets stood up for a date with this like Gorgon guy that she likes. It's really unfortunate because he likes her back, but like he's in the shower and like he puts a towel over the mirror, but the towel drops and he looks at himself in the mirror, and he's a Gorgon, so he turns to stone, so he doesn't make the date. And Enid's like, she gets stood up, she's like waiting for him, and she like flips the fuck out, like she her claws come out and she just tears apart this nearby school bus. She like rips it to shreds, and you see that like feral side to her. She can be kind of nasty. She's not all sugar and rainbows. Like she has like a nasty streak. And so I saw that episode. I was like, oh, what? Maybe couldn't she be the killer? Isn't it possible? I mean, it would be like a surprise. It'd be unlikely, but like I don't know. I kind of like that twist. Like, as soon as I like thought of it, like no, it's. I'll tell you right now, because she's in season 2. It's not Enid. It's not Enid. I'll tell you that right now. It's not Emma Myers. But yeah, I mean, they have a really good. I've said this before, but they have a really good friendship. One of my favorite scenes, besides the crying scene, there's a scene towards the end of the season where they have like a really big falling out, and this is when Enid actually has to move out. But she just like Wednesday's like, what's the big deal? Like, we're fine. She's like, no, we almost died, and you like manipulated us to get us to do what you wanted and put us in danger just because of your obsession with this murder mystery that none of us want to help you with. And she's like, yeah, like so what? And I already apologized. Like, so what? And Enid just has this look on her face, and she gives this really good speech where she's like, Wednesday, I've really tried, like really freaking hard to be your friend, and you've made it almost impossible, and you know what, I'm just kind of done. And she says like, I have like constantly like stuck up for you, like told other people off for making fun of you, like told other vouched for you all the time with other people. And she's like, I didn't ask you to do that, Enid. And she's like, you didn't have to. That's what friendship is. That's what friends do for each other. God damn it, like you still don't get it. You still don't get it, Wednesday. And I'm like yeah, I'm pissed off at Wednesday. I'm like, you still don't get it, Wednesday. Yeah, you do see the like that is like I don't know, people are just like obsessed with these two. Like they really want to see these two underage girls like hook up. I don't get it. Like I mean, listen, I don't lose sleep over it either way. They can be gay or not. I don't I don't lose sleep over it, but like I'm just telling you as someone who watched the show, Wednesday has multiple love interests that are all men. Enid herself has multiple love interests that are guys. They never show any evidence at all of being lesbians in the first place, and they also don't show any romantic interest in each other. They're roommates. They become best friends. That's about it. Like, I really like them as a duo, like I said, but like I don't think they're a romantic couple at all, and I feel like that would be kind of forced. And I hope that season 2 doesn't like cave into that type of shit. Like sometimes shows cave into the pressure from the fans to make something happen, and it's like the fans aren't the ones writing the show. The fans don't know what's best for the show. Stop doing shit like that. Don't like cater to fans in that way. You know what I mean? And to me, it really wouldn't make sense for them to become a couple. Like, I'm sorry. People don't like the love triangle stuff with the boys, and like, yeah, that feels kind of forced too, but like, I don't know. I just don't get it. Where like it just seems like there's no. It just like with these people, like these shippers especially, like these people that like want these two to hook up, it's like it seems like there's like never a middle ground. It's like and like they'll say things like, but they have so much in common, and they're so close, and they live together, and like they do everything together, and they're like and I'm like, yeah, like you just described have you ever had a friend? But they're so emotionally close and they tell each other everything. I'm like, yeah, like, have you ever had a best friend? Like, that's what that is. Like, that doesn't mean they have to sleep together. Like, they could just be best friends. That's an option. That's a possibility. It's like, no. Like, the shippers just go nuts. Like, no. They have to hook up. They're my OTP. They're my one true pair. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's my one hope for season 2. Like, I'm very concerned that might happen, that they might just suddenly turn them gay and like they might become a couple. I'm like, I really don't want that to happen. Like I think they work very well as friends, as best friends, and it's okay for it to just be that. Honestly, I don't think I don't think it makes sense for her to be in a relationship with anyone. I don't think she would ever want to date anyone. Enid, yeah, I she's had some bad luck with boys in season 1. I'd like her to like end up with someone who will treat her right. I really like Enid a lot. She's my favorite character. Wednesday's cool. I do like Wednesday, but Wednesday's kind of hard at times because she's very, like I said, she's has no emotion, and she's just kind of good at everything, and she like comes off really strong, and she's like really mean to people for no reason, and she manipulates people, gets what she wants. Enid is definitely more the sympathetic character, and in general, I kind of gravitate more towards the upbeat, positive, peppy characters as opposed to the death stare. Um, yeah, I don't know what else. What else? I mean, I'll just address this briefly, but like people sometimes complain about like race swapping in shows, and like I've seen that a little bit with this, where like people are like, oh, like all of a sudden Wednesday is Hispanic, like what's up with that, like blah blah blah, because Christina Ricci wasn't Hispanic. So this is a change that honestly, yeah, and in my mind, Wednesday's always like this very pale white girl, but like honestly, it's a change that makes sense because in every iteration, her father is Gomez Adams, an obviously Hispanic guy. So wouldn't Wednesday also be Hispanic? Like that just kind of makes sense. So, and also Jenna Ortega, kills it as Wednesday. So I have no issue at all with her being Hispanic. Whatever. Again, I don't lose sleep over it. It's fine. It's whatever. Yeah, I've been going on for a bit, so I'm gonna wrap this very soon. What else? What else? Anything else? Let me end this on a fun fact about Emma Myers. Of course, I have to talk about Emma Myers again. But yeah, no, Jenna Ortega, she's fantastic. Like I love the little fun fact that she came up with the dance routine herself that went viral. But Emma Myers. So let me tell this fun fact. So I was talking to a friend about Wednesday, the show, and I mentioned Emma Myers, and my friend was like, "Oh, like who does Emma Myers play? Does she play Wednesday?" And I'm like, "No, that's Jenna Ortega. She plays her best friend. Like she's a main character. She plays her best friend Enid." Did I answer that question, by the way? Like who's best girl? Enid. I'm sorry, I'm going with Enid. Even though I love Wednesday a lot, and she was always my favorite Addams Family character, she gets to be a bit too much. Thank God for Enid. Like they do balance each other perfectly. I don't know. Enid's a very popular character as well. I don't know if I could handle a show of just Enid. I do feel like I need the two. I need the emotionless and the too emotional one. I need them to kind of balance. They're like the yin and yang. That's what this window is. It's like a yin and yang symbol almost. They do balance each other perfectly. They're one of my favorite duos of all time. Anyway, but I told my friend, I was like, it's funny you said that did she play Wednesday? So, fun fact about Emma Myers. I watched an interview. Well, I watched a couple interviews with Emma Myers, so sue me. But she was on like one of those shows like Jimmy Kimmel or whatever, and she was talking about herself, right? And she was like, yeah, in real life, I'm like totally different from Enid. Like I'm not an extrovert like her at all. And in fact, I'm much more of an introvert. I don't wear like really girly stuff. I hate like really colorful clothing. I prefer to wear black. And I just want to sit in my room. I don't really go out or socialize a lot. And and I just like to whatever sit in my room and write or whatever. And Jimmy Kimmel was like, so like, do you realize you just like described Wednesday Addams? And it's like, oh, how about that? Yeah. So first of all, what a testament to Emma Myers as an actress. To because some people get accused of like, oh, like Jack Black is just playing Jack Black or whatever. No, Emma Myers. Where is it? So this is Emma Myers in Minecraft. This is Emma Myers Wednesday. You almost don't recognize her at all. She's able to play such wildly different roles. And yeah, her role as Enid Sinclair. So Enid is apparently as much of a polar opposite from Emma Myers as possible. So she plays this character flawlessly. You would think that this is her real personality, but like no, Emma Myers is nothing like Enid Sinclair. In fact, she's much more like Wednesday Addams, who is the polar opposite of Enid Sinclair. And then another fun fact is I saw in a different interview. This is like a couple years after the show came out, so I guess she was like allowed to talk about it at this point. But she's like, yeah, no. So when I auditioned for Wednesday, I auditioned for the role of Wednesday. Like I wanted to play Wednesday, and people thought like maybe I could play Wednesday. And it's funny because like you can kind of see that like, well, when she's not wearing the Enid, when she's not wearing the Enid makeup or whatever, like regular Emma Myers with the dark hair, the black hair, she does almost look like a young Christina Ricci. Like you can kind of see that, where it's like, oh, like she was gonna play Wednesday. That's so interesting to me. And again, like Wednesday is much more in line with who Emma is as a person. So like that kind of makes sense that she went to tried to play Wednesday Addams, but then I'm glad they went with the decision they went with, where it's like she's so good as Enid, and then Jenna Ortega is so good as Wednesday Addams. So I'm glad that she didn't get the role, if that makes any sense. Oh my goodness. Yeah, no. And then what else? So they do solve the mystery, like I said. Season 2 predictions. We're gonna see season 2. Yeah, I mean, I hope I see a little bit more of the family. In the trailer, I think Pugsley is going to school with her now. He's going to start at Nevermore, which that alone will be very interesting. That was my one negative with season 1. It's like, aside from the first episode, you don't get a lot of Pugsley, and I love the interaction with him and Wednesday. I always like the brother sister interaction, and you did not really get that in this show. So like that'll be an improvement in my eyes. Yeah, I would like to see a little bit more of the family. I liked how in season 1, Thing was a huge part. When Gomez and Morticia sent the hand Thing to like spy on her basically, or keep an eye on her. And Thing is great. He's able to emote so well despite just being a hand. Like Thing has some of the best visual gags in the show, in my opinion. And he becomes like best friends with Enid, and she's like, yeah, I know, we gave each other manis. Like it's really funny actually. But yeah, I like to see more of the family in general. I don't know what season 2 is going to be about. That'll be interesting. Well, they're going to have to find a new headmaster. That's all I'm going to say. Because after the events of season 1. And that's unfortunate because I love Gwendolyn Christie in the role. But yeah, so that'll be like a huge part of season 2. Who knows? I'm hoping they have another mystery to solve because I just love murder mysteries. Yeah, and I hope Enid finally finds like a guy who treats her right, because she's had some really bad luck with men. What else? Wednesday's relationship with Morticia was also interesting to a degree. I mean, like, it's not a huge focus. Like, the biggest focus I'd say is these two right here. But aside from Enid, Morticia is kind of the one that can kind of get through to Wednesday a little bit. They really have their problems as mother and daughter, but by the end of their little arc, yeah, like Morticia gets through to Wednesday, and it's a funny scene where Wednesday is very anti-hugs, but Morticia, like, Wednesday basically, she's like steps forward. She's like, you can step forward a little bit, and you can like do the air hug and air kiss. I'm like, just give her a hug, goddamn, Jesus Christ, just hug your mom, Wednesday, like, yeah. But anyway, it's like a baby steps type of thing. She like almost hugs her mom, whatever. But they reconcile, and Morticia is like, yeah, like, because Morticia used to have visions too, and she's like, yeah, you're my daughter, like, feel free to talk to me, like, if you're having an issue with something, like, I'm just a crystal ball, away, like, ask me for help, please do. And that was my other nitpick, is like, yeah, she doesn't do that, like, she never follows up on that offer. She never like really involves Morticia in like the murder mysteries. Like, I was kind of like, oh, she could have asked her for advice like once, whatever. What else? Yeah, like getting to see more of the family would be cool. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, I'm sure I'm forgetting something, but like I've rambled on for over an hour at this point. I think that's good. I think that's good enough. This stream has gone on way too long. I really don't know what season 2 is going to be about. It's going to be fun to see. Like I'm kind of like, if season 1 kind of felt very self-contained, similar to season 1 of Stranger Things. I was like, when they announced season 2, I was like, really? Like there's more? Like Wednesday, there's more? Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Wednesday, definitely check it out, and if possible, check it out on a Wednesday, because this is, yeah, no shit. Like, I mean, I went in kind of with high expectations, and it met them. I have almost nothing bad to say about the show. I loved it. From start to finish. Please check it out. It's worth the binge. It is one of my favorite shows now of all time. I'm not even kidding. I'm so glad I finally watched it. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.